ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
What if I told you that you could get a beer at the movies?
I've heard about that too. I keep up. I just choose not to participate.
Well, what if I told you you could get a cocktail at the movies?
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Well,
Is that what you guys do? You go to the movies, you just slam drinks? Yeah. Well, hell, that's the reason movies like Despicable Me 4 are like in the top 10, because people are just getting drunk.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Of the sport. And after all that, it's Ohio State together at the mountaintop, champions of college football.
Well, Ohio State's the college football champion. The season's over. And that's how we begin on this, what day is today? Tuesday, the morning after the national championship game. Bo is en route back home as we speak, and we have gathered this morning to put a big bow on it all after last night. Let's be honest, boys. Biggest play of the game was the field goal at the end that turned an 8-point game into an 11-point game. That was the deciding play. Would you guys agree, Bart, Edward?
That's right.
Yeah, I can see the faces over there. Mm-hmm. I walk in the studio today, first thing Edward says, yeah, Bart talked me into going with the Irish, and this is what happens. So, Bart, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Tough way to lose a game when you just kind of in the first half you just kind of get that avalanche.
Yeah.
And then I honestly think though that the play of the game was the big play by Ohio State to open the second half. And I think that was the one. And them going ahead and scoring the touchdown, going up 21 points, that was kind of the backbreaker. And, give Notre Dame credit. They fought and got back into the game and kind of had a chance to get a stop and maybe get the ball and go down and, tie the game up. But gave up a big play, and big plays were what bit Notre Dame all game long, their inability to stop Ohio State from getting big plays.
It was 31-7, I guess, at one point there. And to me, anyway, because I didn't really have a rooting interest in the game. I wanted to pull for Notre Dame, Bart, but, we had Cal's show last night. By the time I got home, it was a rout.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I just never developed any kind of emotional tie with Notre Dame last night. I kind of watched at the second half. I wouldn't say I watched it closely. I saw Judkins go off on that big run, and I'm like, well, ball game. And at that point, it just became a question. Is Notre Dame, I guess it was 31-15. I mean, it was just a question of would they beat the spread? How would the spread work out at the end of the game, because we knew who was going to win.
And for a moment, it looked like there was going to be a cover situation. And
you guys were sweating it, man. I mean, that had to be bad. I mean, just teased you right there at the end. And then, but, hey.
It's a bad beat.
Give Ohio State credit. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this today. I got other things I want to get into. But, what was it? Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame. Do I have that right? That is
not
Oregon.
Georgia.
Oregon.
Tennessee,
Oregon.
Texas,
yeah.
Notre Dame.
Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame.
They are the deserving champions.
They are the deserving champions. And to think that, and look, I fell into this trap too. When they lost to Michigan, I thought he's toast. I mean, what was his record, like 41-4 or 5? But it's like he's dead man walking. And then all of a sudden, bang, they, they win the whole thing. So give them credit. And but I hope next year we got a team we can really, I know you were rooting for Notre Dame, but I hope we've got a team that, we can really get behind.
Have you seen the odds?
I have. The way too early top 25 has what, Ohio State and Texas?
Ohio State's plus 450, Texas and Oregon plus 700, Georgia plus 900, Notre Dame and Penn State plus 1,100.
No. Ooh. I don't know.
Arkansas plus 25,000 for.
Is that right?
Yeah, plus 25,000.
So if you
feel
put
like
100 down,
well,
you lose $100.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. But if you were to win, that's brutal, man.
I mean,
if you were to put down $100 and it were to hit.
Oh, you'd be a rich man.
That'd be quite a payoff.
$25,000 richer.
That's like the guy, and I've done this too. That's like the guy that bets on a horse race one time a year. Bets on the Kentucky Derby. Says, I bet on a horse. It was 23-1. If it wins, I mean, look at all this money I'm going to win. It's like, man, horse has no chance to win. I mean, just go ahead and give the money to me. I'll book the bet for you.
It's a donkey out there.
And but I don't know. But
Delusional.
yeah, there you go. Give them credit. All right, here's what I want to get into. There's some news on the basketball front today, and it's not great, just to be honest. Boogie's going to be out, apparently, for at least tomorrow night. It sounds like it might be longer than that. This was Cal on his radio show last night.
Boogie being out, if that's the case, we're a different team. Now, does that make us better or worse? We're going to see, but we know this. We're going to be a different team.
Apparently, it's a thumb situation. It's his hand. And this happened in the Florida game. He got stepped on. And I wondered if he would play at Mizzou. I kind of knew some of this was going on, and I wondered if he would play. But I will give Boogie Flan credit. We live in an era where, and we've been through this here, where it seems like, every kid that is an NBA prospect and anything that hampers them physically, well, they're just going to shut it down. That's not what this situation is. I mean, Boogie's hurt, and things will change as far as this basketball team goes. We had another cut from Cal from last night. Edward, do we have that one that we can play?
Yes.
All right. Let's play that one right now. We're here in a moment.
If he doesn't play, my guess is he's doubtful at best. There's shots for more people. So now, who do we go to a little bit? How do we do this? And that's what we worked on yesterday. There's 15 shots to spread around. You all follow us closely. Who needs maybe 3-4 more shots of those 15 to get going? Yeah, you all said it. Nelly. He's used to taking 17, 18 shots. When you're taking 8, 9, 7, it's a lot harder. So we need to get him maybe some more shots.
He's going to have to be the one that takes the bulk of the shots, I suspect, with Boogie out. But, this is a blow. There's no doubt about it. The one thing that I will say, and this is kind of it's been noticeable, I think, particularly over the last couple of weeks, maybe even longer than that, the way they lean on Boogie when they need a basket, the way they lean on Boogie when they're down and they're trying to come back. This is a freshman. I mean, he's a freshman. He's, 18 years old. And when I look out there on the floor, generally speaking, he's the smallest guy out there, or at least one of them. And they've leaned on him. Maybe too much. So I don't know that I'm not beginning to suggest that you're better off without Boogie Fland, because you're not. And I know that there are those who will say that, this has gone from bad to worse, and I wouldn't argue. And I mean, when you lose a player like that, I mean, you can't say that things haven't gotten worse. But at this point, when you look at where the points can potentially come from, Nelly's the guy that you look at. DJ Wagner to a certain extent. But it's going to have to become Nelly's team if this turns into an extended period kind of thing. And it may. I mean, who knows? But it sounds like at the very least they're going to go tomorrow night, and I would guess Saturday too, without Boogie Fland. So what does that make you think about all this? I got to tell you, I worried Saturday when they played Missouri, because you could see as the game progressed, whatever was going on with him physically was affecting his shot. To his credit, and I mean to his credit, he has been he's been a guy that really wants to play, that has fought through it. And so I don't want, and I'm sure it will, because things like this happen. I hope the narrative does not become that, they're just holding him out, because that's not true. This is a competitor that wants to play. So that's where we'll start. And I know that's not great news. I know that's not the best place to start. I know that's not what a lot of people wanted to hear, and I know the initial reaction from a lot of people is going to be, we're doomed. And I get that part too. So what'd you think of the football game last night? And also this. The college football playoff is done now. I got to be honest, there were points it became almost anticlimactic. I've kind of turned the page. I mean, in terms of football, for me now, it's the NFL playoffs. In terms of basketball, the college season's kicked into full gear. I mean, when you get to January, in my mind, it's college basketball season. It just seemed a little different last night. Not an afterthought, and I'm sure it would have been different if we'd had a team from the SEC playing. We'd have probably been more excited about watching it if Texas had played, just so we could root against them. But I just wonder what your thoughts are now that the college football playoff has come and gone for the first year. What do they need to do? Was it enough to satisfy you? That might be the better way to put it. All right, 877-377-6963 is the number. You can call or text. You can hit us up on the socials. And we'll be back in just a moment. How about that? This is the Chuck and Bo Show, 6:14. It's cold. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one razorback. Not even one.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heated air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
When you bank at First Security, you're choosing better for yourself and fellow Arkansans. Better service from friendly professionals who really invest in your goals. Better solutions with convenient tools and smart resources. And better support for the things that matter to you, as well as the communities that matter to us all. Because finding your better at First Security makes Arkansas better too. First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
2025 is here, and Fayetteville Auto Park is making it easier than ever to elevate your drive during our New Year's sale. Every pre-owned vehicle, hundreds and hundreds to choose from, all with clearance pricing for a limited time. That's right, Fayetteville Auto Park has clearance priced every used car, truck, and SUV in stock. One-owner trades, budget buys, luxury vehicles, off-lease cars, even certified pre-owned, with special finance rates and warranties up to 100,000 miles. Buy now at all 4 Fayetteville Auto Park locations. That's Acura of Fayetteville, Honda of Fayetteville, Toyota of Fayetteville, and Chevrolet of Fayetteville. It's time to drive in 2025, and no one makes it easier than Fayetteville Auto Park. Take advantage of clearance pricing on every pre-owned vehicle now during our New Year's sale. Limited time only at Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. FayettevilleAutoPark.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what odd time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at WheelerPowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. JamMart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero JamMart locations, and stop by any of the 6 JamMart locations in the area. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Did you eat the whole thing during the break?
No, I had like 3 bites, but
Yeah.
I'll get back to it.
Well, I mean, look, if you're going to be a seasoned, experienced radio man, you have to learn how to eat a meal, a full meal, inside 2 and 3 minute breaks.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know how many of you got on the socials after the game last night, but as you would imagine, lots of video, floating around from the post game, and there's a video of Ryan Day being driven to the post game press conference in a golf cart. These big stadiums, and Atlanta's one of them. Dallas is stadiums like this. They in the bowels of the stadium. The concourse areas down below are basically, they're almost like small streets. They've got, painted arrows and things like that and lines. And there's a direction of traffic, I guess would be the way to put it. And so post-game, you've got coaches being driven around in carts to various media settings. And I realize this is not a visual medium, so you're going to have to listen. Turn your radio up right now and listen to the audio of the cart crashing into the wall with Ryan Day aboard.
Day, you deserve it, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Play that thud again. I mean, anyone who's ever had a golf cart crash recognizes this. Oh, right there.
Tough scene.
Oh. It's a bad deal for Ryan Day's kind of a strange guy, wouldn't you say, Bart?
Yeah.
You declared him a weirdo.
Well, I said
you did. You said he was a weirdo
guy. I said he's kind of a weird
saying
guy.
a guy is a weird guy is basically the same thing as saying he's a weirdo. It's basically the same thing.
I just kind of, I don't know what to think about him. Obviously, a good football coach. We know that.
Later in the
Despite what
show
Ohio
today,
State fans may think sometimes.
Yeah. 7:30, Brandon Marcello of CBS Sports 24/7 Sports is going to join us. He was at the game last night. 8:30, Seth Greenberg of ESPN basketball analyst extraordinaire, will join us, and we'll talk a little bit of hoops. If you're joining us late, if you're just getting up, the news from Cal's radio show last night, not great in terms of Boogie Flan. Sounds like the Hogs may have to play without him for a bit. Injured hand, I think the thumb specifically, but don't look for him to play tomorrow night when the Hogs take on Georgia. All right, 877-377-6963. Cecil is on the line in Fort Smith. Cecil, good morning.
Good morning, fellas.
What's up?
Boy, you all right?
I'm doing great, Cecil. Well, great might be an overstatement, but I'm
yeah, your homeboy. Hey, boy, your homeboys, they was just outmatched, man. Look, and then all week I was getting calls on some bets, and I couldn't locate no one. I went to I go watch the game, and me and my buddy from he coached in Van Buren, and I didn't see nobody. I'm like, my God. So I just watched the game, and from the kickoff, Notre Dame was hyped. I mean, it was a hype situation. They got down the field, but they didn't go down as fast as Ohio State did. So when Ohio State got the ball, Doug was actually saying, "Yeah, man, Notre Dame's gonna win." I'm like, "No, man, wait till Ohio State get the ball." So Ohio State went straight down the field, and the wide receivers was dominant. They were big. They were delivering the licks and everything. I'm like, wow, they physical. And they were just outmatched. It was a good game. I actually left. I told Doug, I said, well, they just scored at halftime, before halftime. They get the ball back. If they go straight down the field, which I think that's what they're going to do, I'm leaving. And they did. And by the time I got home, they had scored again. So, I mean, like I said, it was a great game, but
Ohio State was just, I mean, they were clearly better. I'm not knocking Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame gets to that game. You don't just show up and get to that game. But Ohio State, I still don't know how they lost to Michigan. But that team was better.
Really? So Boogie Flan's out for a game or two, Chuck?
Sounds like it. At least. I mean, it sounds like it.
Who we got at the point then? Who's going to be bringing the ball down?
I would imagine it'll be, DJ and Nelly will probably split the duties, but I would think it'd be, as much DJ as Nelly. I'm sure Nelly's going to get a lot of the shots, but I would think both those guys would have the ball in their hands a lot.
And it's going to be very interesting, too.
Well, Nelly's – here's the thing, and Cal said this a little bit earlier, and he knows the situation obviously a lot better than we do. He talked about how, when Nelly was at FAU, how, he's an 18, 19, 20 shot a game guy. At Arkansas, he's been an 8 or 9 shot a game guy. There's 15 shots or so available now. And somebody's got to take him, and Nelly's probably going to be the guy.
Right. And it might change the game for him, too, because, when somebody is, they have to take the back seat, and that's in the NBA, too. They game change when they can't really touch the ball like they want to and stuff. I can't wait to watch these two games we got coming up. Actually, I may even go to the OU game, but I think it's going to be, to me, I don't know. I can't speak on that. I'll speak on it after we play, though.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna hang up, man. Y'all have a great day, man.
Thank you, Cecil.
All right.
Look, there's no way anybody in their right mind can sit here and say, well, they got a better chance to win without Boogie Flan. I mean, nobody's going to say that. They're just going to have to find a way to adapt as best they can. Because here's the deal. We've talked about this before. I mean, the season goes on. I mean, they don't stop. And you don't get a chance to go out and sign a free agent either. That's the thing about professional sports. I mean, if you're in the pros and a guy gets hurt, well, you go sign somebody on a 10-day contract. Or, you go out and pick somebody up. And you can't do that in college basketball. I wish you could, honestly, but of course you can't. And So they're going to, again, I'm not suggesting they are stronger without Boogie, but clearly those shots are going to have to go to somebody. I suspect that being a more focal point, if you want to use that term, is probably going to benefit John L. Davis in terms of his numbers, in terms of the points that he puts up, in terms of his overall flow of the game. I don't have any doubt, frankly, that it's probably going to improve. Now, whether or not the team improves, I'm not saying that. I'm not going to go that far. You're in a situation now, too, where, Cecil asks who's going to bring the ball up. I think Billy Richmond's a candidate there. I think Billy Richmond's a candidate to be essentially what would be a point forward. And Billy plays hard. And I'm not suggesting that Billy's a guy that's going to give you a lot of points. But he does attack the rim. Pretty good passer. So I think that's a possibility. I'm not saying that's your prime candidate, but I'm saying that's a possibility there too. This is, it's going to be a difficult stretch. The good part is you got 2 games at home this week. Georgia's a team that's a lot better. Traditionally, they've not been great on the road. That's kind of what's kept them from, moving into that upper echelon in the league and staying there. They've had a lot of big home wins, lots of them. They've not been quite as good on the road. Now, it's different this year. Arkansas is wounded. Razorbacks are 0-5. But, Georgia's 2-3. And that is the one thing that I'll say about this league right now. And I know at 0-5, I mean, that's not as good as 2-3. It's not obviously as good as some of the other records. But I do think there's going to be some teams that break out of the pack. There, when you look at even at 0-5, you're 2 games back from a team like Georgia. If you find a way to win the game, you're 1 game back. So you're just going to have to find a way to do the best you can and try to beat Georgia tomorrow night, and then deal with Oklahoma when it comes. But that's the news on Boogie, and we're just going to have to see how it plays out. 877-377-6963. What'd you think about the football game last night? Is the college football playoff? Do we already know? Have we already figured out that something's got to change before next year? I mean, Bart, do we know already that at the very least we're going to have to reseed this thing next year? And they've kind of said there may be some tweaks.
Yeah, I think so. I think the thing that's been clear, and all the major college football voices are saying it. Reese Davis said it when the bracket was unveiled on that show. He was like, yeah, they got to seed this thing, 1 through 12. You can't be giving out buys to teams that don't really deserve it, and that's what we learned this year.
All right, quick break. 6:30, 9 degrees in Fayetteville. Good morning. This is the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've been waiting to say this for 5 years. Sterling in Center Ridge.
This is quite the coup that they have put together. Bo and Chuck, this is a dream team.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
We bring in players. They didn't grow up with a woo victory. They don't bleed hot red. They bleed money.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson here at First Financial Mortgage. My mortgage lender, Ethan Adamson. Ethan, congratulations. Over 300 five-star reviews.
Yeah, Ty, we pride ourselves on delivering a five-star service during the entire mortgage process.
What sets you apart from everyone else?
I think communication, how quickly we work, we get you closed on time or early. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert. And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. Cecil, this is the one-stop shop.
Yes, Jazzco Graphics Design, the one-stop shop, 2415 Midland, for your custom or buck order.
Why ESPN 95.3?
I really enjoy listening in, and it keeps my day going while I'm at work. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I never actually spoke to a human. I did yell at the automation.
I've done.
Especially when they misunderstand you. That's not what I'm saying!
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Happens every day to me, or every time I call someone, and we've all been through that. 877-377-6963. Hey, before we move on, I want to talk to you a minute about Fayetteville Auto Park. New year, lots of people making moves in terms of their automobiles. Fayetteville Auto Park's been around a long time. They've moved automobiles, cars, trucks, SUVs. I mean, they've been moving them since 1999, at least in terms of Fayetteville Auto Park, from what I understand. But, man, all these guys I mean, they've been in the automobile business for a long time, and they understand it. And they're people that live in our community, people we see at church, people we see at ball games. I mean, they're with us. And they've got a great selection. They've got great brands, number one, Honda, Acura, Toyota, Chevy, and they've got the best pre-owned selection that you're going to find anywhere. You're always going to get a great deal. And there's going to be an award-winning service department and an award-winning collision center that will help you when it's done. So exit 67A, and you can check out their selection at FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Cal had his radio show last night, and Chuck Martin was on there for a while, too. He's a really interesting guy. But I guess the big news around the basketball team right now is Boogie Fland. He's probably not going to play tomorrow night, and it doesn't sound like he may play for a little while. Got stepped on, his hand got stepped on, involved in a collision, I guess, in the Florida game. It's gotten worse. I didn't know, frankly, if he'd play against Missouri, but he did. And it certainly affected things, but he's not going to be out there tomorrow night. So Arkansas is going to have to find a way to beat Georgia without him. This was Cal last night.
Turning it around, what's that going to feel like? Getting it going, having all, and you understand, outside of our community, no one's going to help us. They're so happy we're losing games they can't see straight.
That is the truth. I mean, we've kind of talked about that, and I think he's well aware of that.
Yeah, it's funny. With success comes critics, right? And and people who don't like you, whether it's a team, an organization, a player, a coach. Like we see it all the time in pro sports, right? Everybody, with apologies to Edward, who's a Chiefs fan, and to all the Chiefs fans in the area, people around the country, they want to see the Chiefs lose because they're tired of them winning. It's not necessarily anything against Andy Reid. I love Andy Reid. But they want to see the Chiefs lose because they're tired of them winning. It was the same thing when the Patriots were really good, when the Warriors were really good in basketball, when Alabama's been really good in football. People are tired of seeing Cal win and win and win and get the best players and send these guys to the NBA, and they want to see him lose and they want to see him suffer. And so, yeah, people around the country are rejoicing, and it's not fun. It's just not a fun time for Razorback basketball, but there are a lot of things that getting put in place that make you think that the future is going to be a heck of a lot better.
Well, the hard part's going to be getting through this year. For a lot of people, that's going to be the hard part. Here's the thing, and this is one of the reasons over the years. And look, we've seen it here. Other places have gone through it. We'll probably go through it again somewhere down the road. When a season seems lost, and we as fans, we have the luxury of turning away when people say, I'm not going to pay attention anymore. I don't even watch the games anymore. We have the luxury of doing that. The players and the coaches, they got to deal with it. They got to do it every day. And it doesn't stop just because you've stopped, or just because I've stopped, or just because somebody else has thrown in the towel. And I've seen it wear on people in various sports, all the sports, not just here but other places. And I feel for these kids right now because they're good players, and many of them have futures in basketball beyond Arkansas. But right now, they're going through some stuff that I'm sure they didn't plan on.
Yeah, no, for sure. These are, we've pointed it out on the show on a number of occasions now, Chuck. But like this group of transfers that Cal brought in, it was the number 1 ranked transfer class in the country. Like Boogie Fland is a lottery pick. Like these guys have big time futures playing basketball professionally, whether it's in the NBA or whether it's overseas. I'm just trying to pull up a mock draft real quick and look, and there are 3 Razorbacks on the board. as guys getting picked.
What does the number 1 ranked transfer class really mean? I mean, what does it really mean?
It means that guys have been good at their previous spots.
That's right. That's what it means. It means they, in some cases, transfer portal classes are ranked very highly just because of the number of players, just because of the size of the class. But what really makes a number 1 portal class? I mean, you're right. It is entirely based on how good they were at their previous school. So I like the portal. I like the fact that it's interesting and exciting, and you know, fans love it. They can say they don't, but they watch everybody else's portal activity, and they do so with great interest. It's only when your team loses a guy that the portal's bad. When you bring a guy in, the portal's great. You don't even think about it. When you watch somebody else lose a player and transfer to a school, it's like, well, this is fun. But when it happens to your team, it's not so fun. But I'm not sure what the number 1 portal class really means, because unless you can make a mesh, unless you can make it work for you and blend them in with what you have, it really doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, and I think you can say the same thing about just recruiting classes and recruiting rankings in general. I mean, look at Rutgers in basketball is a perfect example of this, right? And how sometimes things don't work out the way you think they will just based on recruiting or portal rankings. Rutgers has 2 of the top 5 NBA draft prospects on their team.
I know. I keep reading.
And they are terrible. Like, not the players. I'm talking about Rutgers. They are not a good basketball team. They're 10-9, 3-5 in the Big Ten, and they have the 2 of the top 5 NBA draft prospects in Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper on their team. Both guys freshmen. Both guys came in this year. But for whatever reason, it's not working for that team right now. You know, the sum of the parts, you know, whatever the saying is.
You know, we obviously we watched some of this play out with Nick Smith. I'm a Nick Smith fan. I like Nick Smith. First time I watched him play, I thought, man, this guy's smooth. He does it in a way that others do not. I saw last week, I guess it was, where he'd made his first start, got his first start in the NBA. Great night for him. I'm sure it was. But as I'm watching it, I'm thinking that, you know, there would have been a time when if the Razorbacks had had a player, particularly an in-state player, he'd stayed here 2 or 3 years, 4 years maybe, goes to the NBA, starts his first game. We'd all been talking about it. I think what's frustrating for fans is this. One, there's very little connection, even with the in-state guys when they only stay 1 year. But when you think about these 2 players for Rutgers that you just brought up, they're going to be, what, first-round draft picks? Is that what it says?
Lottery, top 5
Lottery
picks,
pick.
yeah.
Top 5 picks. But the team's 10-9. 3-5 in conference play. If I'm a Rutgers fan, I'm thinking, what in the world does the NBA base their criteria on to determine who the best players are? We're 10-9. Yeah. We're 3-5. Does anybody at any point put a premium on winning? Does anybody ever talk about that?
No, it's a great point.
It's all about upside.
And if you're a college basketball fan and someone says, well, this guy's projected to be a first-round pick, I can't really blame people when they say, well, who cares? Because I care about what he does when he's here.
Yeah.
And because you don't fall in love with these guys over a 2 or 3 year period, not only do you not celebrate their success as a pro, you almost become a little bit resentful because they weren't that good when they were here.
You know, Chuck, you bring up a really interesting point because I think, you know, for a long time, to your point, college sports were different, and that you had players here for 3 and 4 years, like you said, and they were here longer than maybe your favorite pro player would be with your pro team. Maybe longer than a lot of contracts in pro sports that are 1, 2, 3 year deals. And now it's flipped the other way, where you have guys playing on pro teams forever who fan bases come to love, and college guys are here for 1 year and in some cases 3-4 games. It's hard to be a fan of a college sports team right now unless your team is just loaded with talent and winning championships at a high clip. It's not a lot of fun for anybody.
What'd you say it was, 6 degrees now?
6 degrees in Fayetteville.
It was 9 when I got up. It's 6 degrees now.
Losing ground.
877-377-6963. JR's in Shady Grove. JR, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, guys.
What's up?
Hey, Chuck. Hey, you know what? I just want to talk about what you're talking about. It's that way in the football also. I mean, you can't. I'm 50. I'll be 54 next month. The days of being able to follow a kid or a group of kids, and keep up with them through the season and look forward to what they bring to the table to the school you're following are gone. It's hard. It's hard for the fans. I've got friends that are my age and older, and they're just like, you know what? It's not even fun anymore to do this. And I know it's not for everybody. I know a lot of people look at it a different way, and that's fine too. But it just brings another dynamic to the whole situation. With what you're trying to do as far as having something to look forward to on the weekends. To watch a game, follow your school, and be able to be thinking you're part of something to follow. Where you can excel and win at something that very few people get a chance to do. So.
Let me ask you one question before we hit a break here. If they were 4-1 in conference play, you think we'd feel more of a connection?
You know what? That's a hard one.
I know it is.
Because you know why? Because the problem is you just don't know these kids. I talk to these people that are my friends, and they're like, "Where'd this kid come from? Where did he come from? What do you?" They always ask me, "What do you know about this kid?" I mean, I don't have time to follow it as much probably as I like to. I do in football, but you just don't feel that connection to what's going on. And these kids, I mean, they have all these projected, they're going to be this, they're going to be that, with their best group. It's like you're saying, if you can't coach those kids to mesh on the court or on the field for that matter, it really doesn't matter to the fans what their projected is in pro. It doesn't matter. If you're a college sports fan, it doesn't matter. If you're going to follow them later on, then that probably does matter to you. But if you're following your school, your university, it really doesn't matter. So,
all right, JR, thanks, man. I got to hit a break. I'm behind. 6:49. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Everyone remembers the Florida A&M game, and later became known here in Pulaski County as Rattlergate.
Being a Razorback fan isn't just about the game. It's about the community, the tradition, and the moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks, they understand the importance of those moments. That's why they offer a selection of fine jewelry that goes beyond the ordinary, just like our hogs. Visit Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers, where you'll find that perfect piece to celebrate your Razorback spirit and the special moments in your life.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. That's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopasco.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Just thinking, what is a Pirates' favorite college football team?
Say it, Bart.
Arkansas.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Looking to build your own field of dreams? Trust the experts at Tucker Construction and Remodeling. With over 30 years of experience, we turn blueprints into reality, ensuring top quality craftsmanship in every project. From homes to commercial spaces, our dedicated team makes your vision come to life. Choose Tucker Construction and Remodeling, where your dreams are built to last. Call us today at 650-6453 or visit tuckercr.com. Mike Tucker Construction, building your field of dreams.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. Cecil, this is the one-stop shop.
Yes, Jazzco Graphics Design, the one-stop shop, 2415 Midland, for your custom or buck order.
Why ESPN 95.3?
I really enjoy listening in, and it keeps my day going while I'm at work. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I've got certain compartments in my backpack that certain items go in for every trip. Like, for example, I have to have blue or yellow sweetener for my coffee. I'm a diva in that respect.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Man, I was looking at these temperatures. Just, this is what you need to know about the weather in the South right now. They're supposed to have 4 inches of snow later today in Destin. Whew. That's pretty much what you need to know right now about weather in the South.
When's the last time that happened?
I don't know. I have no earthly idea. But I heard that last night. 4 inches of snow in Destin. Are you kidding me? And we're actually in for a warm-up later in the week. It's going to be in the 40s, boys.
Thank goodness.
By the end of the week, 48.
I'll take what I can get.
I think even on Friday, from what I understand. All right, Bo's on his way back from Atlanta. He had front row seats for the game last night. 7 o'clock hour, Brandon Marcello, CBS Sports. 8 o'clock hour, Seth Greenberg, ESPN. This is the Chuck and Bo Show.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Storey talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
There's nothing like a college football Saturday, a few beers, your phone, and Twitter.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we are looking at sunny skies, a cold one, low 20s north, low 30s south. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight, overnight lows into the middle teens. Wednesday, sunny skies, upper 30s to near 40, and then it will be dry again Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a smart aleck like that.
Hi,
I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cabe, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Rachel's at Papa's right now. Rachel, what do you think?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You can check out their menu at papaspub.com. Cricket, how about you?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Come on by and see us at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
How do you get restaurants, how do you tell them to make the bacon the way that you want the bacon? Because sometimes if you order it crispy, it comes out and it's just like charred.
You say, I want it crispy, not charred. Sometimes when you guys bring it out, it's charred. I don't want it charred.
When it's charred, it's like...
No, hell no.
That's right. Now, I'm just going to tell you, if it's charred, I'm going to send it back.
Bring that plate out.
No, hell no. The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Guys, we got to get past this red blazer thing with Cal. We get texts about this all the time, every day, and I get asked about it every day. I noticed yesterday when this came up, we talked about it, and I guess somebody wrote one of these internet stories about it, quoting us, and everybody's making a big deal about this, and as we discussed yesterday, go back and look at the videos. Go back and watch. I know some of you guys got replays of all these great games Arkansas has played in basketball. Go back and watch them. Look at what those guys are wearing. I mean, Muss went the polo route and everybody wore the same thing, and naturally that was red and white most of the time. And but the coaches who've worn suits, look at the coaches for other places. They're not running out in, school-colored sports jackets every time they play. They're just not. And but everybody seems to be just going nuts about this. Look, when you're 0-5 in conference play, there are lots of things, there are lots of issues, there are lots of things to get worked up about. I don't think that's one of them. I think they got more pressing issues than what kind of clothes they're wearing. Cal at his radio show last night. This is where we're going to start the hour. It's the latest on the basketball team. It's not great news. Boogie Fland is apparently going to be out for a little while. Injured hand. thumb specifically, from what I understand. This was Cal last night.
Boogie being out, if that's the case, we're a different team. Now, does that make us better or worse? We're going to see, but we know this. We're going to be a different team. And that's if he's out. Right now, I would say that's he's doubtful at best.
So that's kind of where we are. And Nelly Davis, in fact, he talked about Nelly Davis too. Edward, can we play that where he talks about where the points and the shots are going to come from?
Boogie, if he doesn't play, my guess is he's doubtful at best. There's shots for more people. So now, who do we go to a little bit? How do we do this? And that's what we worked on yesterday. There's 15 shots to spread around. You all follow us closely. Who needs maybe 3-4 more shots of those 15 to get going? Yeah, you all said it. Nelly. He's used to taking 17, 18 shots. When you're taking 8, 9, 7, it's a lot harder. So we need to get him maybe some more shots.
So who gets the shots, boys? What do you think? What do you think, Bart? Who's the guy?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think
DJ or is it Nelly?
Well, I think it's Nelly, because I think if Boogie is out for an extended period of time, for Arkansas to have any chance in this league this year, Nelly Davis is going to have to get going. And he's going to have to look like the player he was at Florida Atlantic the past 2 seasons. That's it. That's the whole thing right there. I think, some of those shots get funneled to DJ. I think some maybe, obviously a guy like Billy Richmond is going to get more minutes. So that's going to come with more shots. But it's got to be Nelly.
Let me ask you guys. I want to get both your thoughts on this, and I'd like to hear people's opinions as well. 877-377-6963. I'm around these guys a lot, so admittedly, my initial reaction may be a little bit different than some. When you heard that Boogie was out at the very least for tomorrow night, this week, might be an extended period, Bart, what was your initial reaction?
Boy.
We're doomed?
Is
that pretty much
when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours.
What about you, Edward?
I was about the same. It was pretty dark.
Yeah.
It's a dark outlook. But the more you think about it and process it and listen to what Cal said last night on the show, there might be some hope just doing something different.
Well, look, there's no way you're going to be better without Boogie Flynn.
Right.
I am interested to see where the shots come from. And, obviously you got to be able to make them. Just being able to get the shot up, I mean, that's not the battle right there. I mean, you got to make them. So Nelly's going to get a lot of them. The thing about, and we've discussed this before, is that when you continually go through scoring droughts, that probably means you don't have enough scores. Not always, but lots of times it does.
Well,
and so, it's compounded now.
And look, these are – so Arkansas's 5 SEC games so far, 52, 66, 63, 74, 65. Those are the Hogs' points totals in those 5 games. That's not good enough, and that was with Boogie. So, whether it's Adu, whether it's DJ Wagner, whether it's Nelly Davis, I mean, some of the shooting percentages in conference play have just been atrocious, and you just keep thinking, surely this isn't going to continue all season long. These guys, Nelly Davis is not a bad shooter, right? We've seen, DJ Wagner, I mean, 34% from 3 on the season isn't outstanding, but it's not terrible. But in SEC play, it's been brutal. So surely some of this is just the type of thing that has to turn around and luck has to change.
I wonder if it's going to be a situation where we're going to see Nelly go to the basket a lot and try to draw fouls, get to the free throw line. I don't know that Arkansas is going to be in a position right now to win a game in what I'd call a stylish manner. I don't know that if there are wins, when there are wins, we'll see. I can't imagine, particularly if Boogie's out, that we're going to walk away from the game saying, man, that was some scintillating basketball that we saw tonight. I think it's just going to have to be done in a grinded-out way. Yeah. It may have to be a, 54 to 52 kind of deal, and sometimes those can be agonizing to watch. But I'm just not sure how else it happened.
I just had, when you said that, I had a terrible flashback to the Stan Heath era.
Well, I know. What you got, Edward?
Well, this isn't to knock on Boogie or anything, but just looking at his stats in conference play so far, 22 of 78 from the floor, which is 28%.
Yeah.
So, he's a great point guard. His passing helps the offense, but these shots, it's hard to get worse from 28%. So we'll see what happens.
That's fair. I mean, that is fair. Eddie's in Clarksville. Eddie, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Now. How's it going, man?
Man, I'm doing fine. I'll still be blowing a whistle if we don't be winning the game. But let me say this. You know what hurts me? You know what? Let me define hurt for you. Hurt means to irritate and to annoy. And I know this fan base, a lot of us feel the same way I am. You know what? I grew up with a rich basketball program. I'm a very passionate fan. You know what? I feel that's taking part of our program, and I'm talking about all three of them. I feel apathy. Let me define it for you. It's to assume a program. It's a Greek word that stems from apatheia, which means absence of passion without feeling a lack of energy. And I feel like that's taking place. It just consumes our programs.
Eddie, you're yelling and screaming. Don't try to tell me you're apathetic. You're yelling and screaming. You don't do that when you're apathetic.
What do you mean? Somebody's got to yell. I mean, I feel like there's no standards set in our programs. I mean, come on now. At the very least, this team was expected to make the NCAA tournament. We hired a Hall of Famer coach. We hired a pretty good, opened up the vault to us. And we put a pretty good lump sum into these players. And they step out on the floor and they play energyless. And that's how I feel. I'm talking about all our programs. So that's lackey, like vanished, disappeared. And until that gets back, maybe we need to invest so somebody go up internally in our program and see what's going on up there. Because let me tell you something. What's more heartbreaking to me, now we're losing the teams, not only in football, that we should be competitive with, now in basketball. And they're all better than we are. Let me say that all of them's got to win. And I mean, you can't even get a win at Bud Walton. Let me tell you something. Something's got to take place. I don't know what's got to take place. And then look at our baseball program. Yes, there's bells and whistles like it is every year. The last 3 years, we can't even make it out of Bob Walker hosted. Let me say this. I listened to Coach Van Horn the other day. Oh, I feel good about this team. They're more vocal. Well, let's hope so. Because this fan base needs something to grasp to. Besides Pete Paul. Let me say this. And you say there's no room for apathetic? Come on, man. Look at the banners that hang above Walton. Have we forgotten that? I guess we have. To these players, I want to dedicate 3 songs for you. And you better take them to heart. Because I tell you what, even biblically, everything it states, guard your heart. Play with your heart. Are you doing that? I don't think you are. Let me say, you're playing with your pocketbooks. Let me tell you, you better not be bucking a life in the NBA. Let me tell you something. One player gives you a few points one game, then vanish the next. And you can't win games like that. You can't score points in the paint. unimaginable that's part of the basketball game you get defeated at. I mean, to lose to Missouri, I mean, that's getting hard. To lose to Ole Miss, to lose to LSU, now in basketball, Mississippi State, because it's coming. Let me say this. Who are you going to beat? If you better find your heart, and somebody needs to love you enough to tell you that. Thank you for taking my call.
All right, Eddie.
Where are the songs?
I can feel the love. Yeah, where were the songs? Did I miss it?
No, he said he had 3 songs.
Yeah, I was waiting for the actual titles. Hey, listen, as I'm listening to Eddie right there, I'm going to be honest. As I'm listening to Eddie right there, I'm thinking, that's half the people in the state watching the ball game on Saturday. I mean, it just really is, and that's just kind of the reality of the situation. But now I do have to point this out. Arkansas fans are not apathetic. Every time a team starts losing, I'm just apathetic. I don't care anymore.
Would you like the official definition of apathetic?
Yeah, please.
Showing or feeling no interest, enthusiasm, or concern.
Well,
nothing.
I think when you call into a radio show, you've shown a certain interest. I think it'd be fair to say. My point is that we're going to continue to follow them. You may not follow them as closely as you once did, and disgusted, disappointed, mad, angry. Those might be words that more accurately describe things than apathetic. You're not apathetic if you're mad. I mean, you're just not. When the point comes where you're just not moved at all, then you're apathetic. But I think we're a long way from that. Let me say this, too, before we go to a break. It's not baseball's job to make up for all the ways that football and basketball disappointed you. We have come to – it's almost embarrassing what we take for granted in baseball now in terms of success. It's really almost embarrassing what we view as a failed season in baseball because, hosting a regional, hosting a super regional, they don't just pass those out, and they're not passing them out because we have great crowds. We're not getting them because we have great crowds. We're getting them because they win on the field. So people sometimes talk about failures in baseball, and I just have to laugh because it's like we'd give anything to have those kinds of failures in virtually every program up there. I mean, let's get some of these other programs in a position to fail like that.
I know we got to hit a break, but the baseball program has been to half of the last 6 College World Series. Half. 3 of 6.
But people will tell you, it's not going very well. You know why? Because it's not made up for every disappointment you've had coming out of football and basketball season. 877-377-6963. Back with more in a moment. This is the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think that having Brian, allowing him to call in occasionally, is a healthy reminder of why you don't like Texas. Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell him you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge.
Good morning, Smack Daddy. What's happening?
What's up, Bald Brotherhood?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Ty Richardson for American Patriot Promotions. They have their Meet a Gun show coming up Saturday, February 1st and Sunday, February the 2nd. The American Patriot Promotions Meet a Gun show is located at the Polk County Fairgrounds in Mena. Tickets are just $10 per person and only $8 for veterans, military, police, and first responders. For more information on this event, go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com. American Patriot Promotions is the best avenue for outstanding gun shows.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I need Southern Siri. Sometimes when I ask Siri something, she says she can't understand what I'm saying. I think we need more regional Siri so they can understand the dialect. I went to Siri early this morning. I was looking at your show notes, Bart, and I did not know that it was Squirrel Appreciation Day.
Well, I mean, and that's the type of content
that
we bring to our listeners.
I will
Gotta let 'em
learn.
know.
I'm learning every day to never underestimate your vast array of interests. But
I don't know that I'd call it interest. I have some squirrels, and I wish I had a pellet gun to get rid of them.
Because my first thought was, well, now what exactly should we appreciate about squirrels? So I go to Siri. I say, "Okay, Siri, benefits of squirrels." That's what I said, and this is what pops up under the heading "Benefits of Squirrels." Squirrels play an important ecological role as seed and spore dispersers. I had no idea. Squirrels catch or store seeds and nuts in the soil and trees. And then when we go on with our lives, it says, when forgotten, these seeds and nuts sprout into new plants and trees. So there you have it. I guess that's why we have Squirrel Appreciation Day. It's certainly not because it chews through all the power lines in the crawl space of your home or wreaks havoc on everything that you own.
Certainly not.
You don't appreciate that. But I had no idea it was Squirrel Appreciation Day. It's also National Granola Bar Day.
Oh, I'm sure that's a favorite of yours.
For those who don't know. Brandon Marcello of CBS Sports, 24/7 Sports, is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. He was at the game last night, as was Bo. Evidently, Brandon did not have the early flight. I say that parenthetically, early flight.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
That Bo had. So he's going to join us on the show, and then 8:30, Seth Greenberg, the great Seth Greenberg of ESPN, will join us. I was thinking last night. I want to see what you guys think. I think that the college football playoff, the national championship game, has got to be moved off Monday night. I think it's got to be Friday night. I don't think you can go on Saturday night. It's got to be a night game. Right. But you can't go against the NFL playoffs on Saturday night. And don't think the NFL is going to accommodate you. I mean, they're encroaching on everything you're doing now. They don't give a rip. So it's got to be on a night when they're not NFL playoff games. What time did you go to bed last night, Edward?
9:05 p.m.
Okay, that's right. Because what time do you have to get up?
Very early.
That's my point.
For this show.
And that's America. That's America. You go to bed early, you get up early. Now, I know lots of people stay up late and get up early, and some people have different body clock schedules. But the people who are getting things done, the people who are making the whole thing work, they're going to bed early and getting up early. That's just how America is. So you got a game on Monday night, and I know it said 6:30 for a kickoff time. What was it, 6:50, something like that? That's not bad. But you can't do this on a work night. You just can't. I know basketball does it, but basketball's a 2-hour game, and I think basketball, they need to tip that game off at 7:08 instead of 8:08.
100%.
But be that as it may, you put this thing on Friday night. All your high school football, all that stuff all across America is over with. You don't have many big college basketball games on Friday night. You're not going up against the NFL playoffs. Most people, I'm not going to say everyone, but most people can sleep in on Saturday morning, or at least they don't have to get up at the crack of dawn. To me, playing this thing, it seemed almost anticlimactic last night. And I'm not knocking the teams or the games or the format or the committee or anybody. I'm just saying it seemed almost anticlimactic. And the fact that we all had to get up early and that America had to get up and go to work the next day. I just think it'd be better if you played this thing on a Friday night. That's my thought. What do you think? 877-377-6963. I'm going to ask Brandon Marcello when we come back. 7:28. This is the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, first and foremost, congratulations on the official launch of the Chuck and Bo Show. I want to know, how did you guys decide which name went first, Chuck or Bo? Was that a flip of the coin?
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heat and air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Our New Year's sale is on at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Get total New Year's savings up to $13,000 on select in-stock new 2024 Silverados. That's up to $13,000 in total savings on a new Silverado. Limited time only during our New Year's sale at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Chevrolet, together let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 3/3/25.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there and maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bullsworth with his new glasses. Looks like Clark Kent. This guy is dominating offensively. He's also a quality guy. We had more fun talking with him. He was a walk-on. Now he's an All-American. He also is brilliant. He's a great student. Last week he got his just what top football is all about.
I've been called everything. Clark Kent, Kurt Rambis, Drew Carey, you name it, I've been called it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. My buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports stopped by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at WheelerPowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Evans Body Shop in Van Buren is a proud local business serving the River Valley since 2006. Thanks to our customers, our business is growing. We invite you to stop by, call, or drop in and visit with us about our new paint system, work efficiencies, and certification training program for our entire team. Our commitment to you is to continue to embrace new technologies and operational enhancements that provide the very best experience for you, our customers. 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
I don't think Rodgers is going out the way Elway did.
I hope he does. I hope he plays for the Jets.
That's right, Dolphins fan. Makes sense.
I'm a patient there, and you can be too. 3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I mean, we are one extreme to the other. Either we're headed to wine and roses for the rest of our lives, or the whole world's going to hell. I mean, it's one of the two.
It's just a really healthy mentality to have, too.
That's right.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We welcome you back on a Tuesday morning, the morning after the national championship game. See, if the game had been on Friday night, Bo wouldn't have been able to blow off this morning. He wouldn't be on that early flight.
Shame.
Out of that.
Shame upon him.
Out of Atlanta. I just think it'd be better if we did it that way. Brandon Marcello, CBS Sports, 24/7 Sports, longtime friend of the program, and also one who covered the national championship game in Atlanta last night. Brandon, welcome. I know it had to be a short night of sleep. Are you working on like 3 or 4 hours right now?
Yes, very much so. Got in from work at about 4 a.m. So
wow.
Alive and well.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm
shortly behind Bo on the plane back home to Fayetteville. We got some snow moving in here, so
is it beginning to snow there? Is it beginning to?
Not yet.
Yeah,
Hope not.
Yeah, everybody I'm sure is panicking down there. So, what'd you think of the game last night? Give us your take.
Well, certainly looked like Notre Dame was out of it, and just kind of like they've done all year. They just find a way to make something competitive, and had an opportunity to potentially tie the game, and they were late, and they just got a lot of fight in them. Notre Dame's a team that has win by, managing to get a couple turnovers in a game, one of the best turnover margins in the entire country. And last night, we finally saw that turnover there in the second half, and it kind of flipped the game a little bit, started giving them some momentum. But it just felt a little bit like it was too late. They needed another turnover sometime in the first half when Ohio State was just really going on a roll there offensively. And, Notre Dame needed something to kind of disrupt Ohio State's rhythm, because obviously the defense just wasn't getting it done in the first half. And, Ohio State just really, really explosive, and you just waited for that moment to happen where they would hit some big passes or a big run down the field. And, they were able to do that twice last night, and that proved to be the difference in the game.
One of the things that has come out of this playoff, and, Ohio State loses to Michigan, and Ryan Day's, days away from getting fired. And then they beat Tennessee, they beat Oregon, they beat Texas, and they beat Notre Dame. I mean, that is, that's as blue as it gets right there. I think it'd be fair to say that even though there may be some things they need to work on with the playoff, we definitely know who the best team is.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about that. And I also think that we have no doubt that this, system, for as flawed as it is going to work more times than not. In fact, I'd argue it's probably going to end up working every year, because it's just going to be a gauntlet every year, and the best team that's playing the best at that moment is going to end up emerging. I mean, it's incredible how we all went in this season just saying, well, Ohio State better win it. They've got the roster to do it. This is the year to do it. And yet maybe the most difficult time to be able to win a national championship was this year because of that gauntlet, not just the regular season, but as you said, the postseason. I mean, they didn't get a first-round bye. They had to win 4 games in the playoff in football, and they did it. And they did so convincingly in most of those games. I mean, they won every game by 14-plus points, except for this game against Notre Dame last night. Very, very worthy champion, and I think every year whoever emerges as the national champion, there's going to be no doubt that they're the best team out there.
Hey, are you one of these – some reporters go to games and, boy, they watch the game. Other reporters go and kind of take in the entire event. What'd you think of the event last night, or just the last few days in Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly felt like a national championship type atmosphere. I do think it was a little bit more subdued.
I think we lost him. No, there we go.
And I'll tell you what, I think a lot of them, they got in late. Some of them didn't get in until the day before the game, even on a weekend. And they were doing so they can save a little bit of money. And I think it was a little bit maybe more subdued than you would usually see the national championship site. Having said that, when the game happened and everybody was in their seats, it was much more electric. But it just did feel a little bit weird. And I know from the outside looking in, I just don't think as much attention was paid to this game going into it because of the NFL playoffs just happening, and then also with Inauguration Day and everything else going on in the world. It was, it was subdued on the outside, but also even here the day before the game.
It seemed almost anticlimactic that the playoffs went too long. And I didn't know if I would ever say, hey, maybe the college football playoffs went too long, and maybe it's our part of the country because we didn't have one of our teams, so to speak, playing. Now, we were talking earlier. I want to get your thoughts on this. I think they need to move this thing to a different night because it's no longer football season in a lot of people's minds. It's certainly not college football season anymore. move this thing to a Friday night. Not, I'm just speaking wildly here, and I doubt that they're going to call and ask me for my opinion. But it's, and I know we've got Monday Night Football during the season, but not as many people watching regular season Monday Night Football game as are going to be watching the national championship game. It just seemed to me like, and hearing you say subdued kind of adds to that I'm not complaining. I'm not saying it was bad. It wasn't. It was great. But maybe there are still some things they could do a little bit better.
Yeah, and I think they know that. The committee and the board of managers and all those folks for the CFP met here on Saturday, and I went there and covered that and was chatting with them, and they talked a lot about just what worked and what didn't work this past playoff, whether it was ticket prices, kickoff times, and the venues itself. I think it's very possible, in fact, here in a couple of years, we might actually see these quarterfinal games on campuses. So we might see first round and second round games on campuses. That's something that's going to be discussed here over the next couple of months. So maybe that helps when we talk about the travel aspect of it. So when you get into the third round and on to the championship, these fans maybe aren't spending as much money, have to go across the country a couple of times or even 3 times following their teams around in the playoff at these bowl sites. I'm also very interested to see what the ratings are. I'm not really a ratings guy, but it depends. That really is going to ship. That's what always steers a ship with these championship events. And, it's kind of crazy. The future dates for this national championship are really playing games as late as January 25th in the next few years. Wow. And when you talk about playing games on a Friday night or something like that, I've got similar ideas. I think a lot of folks do. I want to see this game, and I'm probably crazy. I don't know if anybody will like this. And, again, I'm speculating, just saying this on my own volition. I'd love to see this game on a Saturday where college football is always played. A Saturday mid-afternoon, played at the Rose Bowl every single year. Do the sunset and all that stuff. Have college football be the primary thing on a Saturday afternoon, which is what we're all accustomed to anyway. And work something out with the NFL, because the NFL is going to play a game that Saturday night anyway with the NFL playoffs most likely in this time of year, and let them have prime time and have some type of agreement where you're almost promoting each other as, this big weekend, Saturday football to help each other out. And I think it would help out both things right there. And you give college football a proper send-off. And how much more fittingly than at the Rose Bowl.
I could go with that. I've always thought that, if you were going to have a permanent venue, it should be the Rose Bowl. Let's just figure it out right now. Give ESPN the NFL playoff game that night. They'll have the college football championship game in the afternoon. They get a football bonanza. I mean, they get the college football national championship game and a primetime playoff game. I could be on board with that. I certainly could. Brandon, what? Give us an idea, and we were talking about the event a little bit earlier. From a media perspective, how many people are there? Just what this entails when someone says, I'm going to go cover the national championship game.
Yeah, I mean, it is over 300 media members, full press box, couple of auxiliary press boxes on different levels, not including, of course, just all the TV cameras. And it's interesting. You always see press from, locales and organizations that never cover college football or sports, and they're there to cover the event almost from a 30,000-foot view of here's what college football is like in America and things like that. And then, for a lot of us in the media, it's almost like a convention of sorts for us because we all work about 12, 14 hours during the day, and then we all congregate in the media hospitality room at the hotel for a couple hours. And, a lot of us don't get to see each other during the season across the country, and we get to share war stories and all that stuff. And, it's kind of fun to be able to do that. And, of course, what I love about these type of events is when we have a media day where the entire teams are allowed to speak to the media, and you have like an hour to just go around and chat with these guys, human to human, one-on-one. I love that because everybody's got a story, right? And these players certainly have stories because of just all the triumphs and the failures they've gone through in their life, their backgrounds, and I love it. You're able to tell and share better stories because you have more time to get in depth with things, and I really proud of my coverage here, and I know a lot of folks were as well, being able to dig deep. I mean, just like, for example, Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame coach. His alma mater is Ohio State. He played there. His best friend is an assistant coach at Ohio State, and they had to coach against each other last night. A lot of emotions go into that, and, you know, that's what makes sports great. As much as everybody's trying to professionalize college sports and it's become such a business and everything's so cut and dry, sports is still driven by emotion, and that's why we're able to tell the stories we do and share what's so great, really, about, you know, college sports.
Did you run into Bo while you were there?
I did. Last night, waiting outside the Notre Dame locker room, he walked by and shared a fist bump, and then late last night he shot me a video over of the golf cart incident. I don't know if you guys saw
we
that.
saw that. We actually played the audio from that a little bit earlier. You can hear the thump. I mean, it's the real deal.
It was loud. I was behind it, following it, and, man, there was an older lady on there, and I was kind of like, uh-oh, this ain't good. Ryan Day was not very happy about the situation, I'll tell you that.
Hey, this is what it sounded like. Play it, Edward.
Thank you.
Boom.
It's okay.
I realize it's not a visual medium. We're not dealing with TV right here. You can't see it, but you could hear even by the sound that it was not good. Brandon, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us this morning. Thanks.
Appreciate you, Chuck.
All right, Brandon Marcello on his way back from Atlanta. January 25th. Talking about the late dates for the national championship games moving forward. We'll talk about that when we come back. 877-377-6963. We are brought to you in part by First Security Bank, where it's more about banking. More than just banking, I should say. They've got all the things you need to bank better, but it is more than that. They're all in on local support, convenient locations, friendly, local banking. So bank better. Check them out online at fsbank.com. Bank better at First Security Bank, member FDIC. 747. This is the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Rick's in Fayetteville. Rick, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's a privilege to talk with you guys, and I love the Razorbacks.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
People everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Randy Milam in Alma or Agent Brandon Zimmerman in Barling.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. Participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I've called and told them 5 times now. The bank account listed on there no longer belongs to me. In fact, it doesn't exist anymore. It's one of the things that happens when you get divorced.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, one of the things. All right, glad you're back as we continue on Tuesday morning, 877-377-6963. Of all the things that Brandon just talked about, moving the national championship game back even further is what caught my attention. College football season is not a January sport. Now, NFL football, that's a January sport. The playoffs, January. Super Bowl, early February. At some point, it'll probably get pushed back to March. But, that's what I think of when I think of football. I think of college football in the fall, wrapping up around New Year's Day, then the NFL playoffs taking over. But basically, from a college perspective, it's basketball. After the first of the year. I'm going to be interested to see what the numbers are from last night, too. I don't think they're going to be bad. I'm not suggesting that. But this this is not the Super Bowl, but the possibilities are endless in terms of viewership and dollars and things of that nature. But we'll see what they are when it's all said and done. All right, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour, Seth Greenberg from ESPN is going to join us. We're going to talk a little basketball. We're going to reset a little basketball, in fact, a lot of basketball with the Razorbacks when we move past the top of the 8 o'clock hour. If you've not been with us this morning, Boogie Flan, it looks like, is going to be out for a little while. Not going to play It doesn't seem tomorrow night against Georgia. And may not play Saturday against Oklahoma either. Got an injured hand. Happened against Florida. And it, I thought, you could tell the effects anyway in the ball game on Missouri. Hey, at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, they are ready to lighten your load for 2025. No payments, no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging HVAC system, or upgrading your electrical, the Pascal Pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopascal.com today and schedule your service. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. This is the Chuck and Bo Show. Back with more in a bit.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye. Being a Razorback fan isn't just about the game. It's about the community, the tradition, and the moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks, they understand the importance of those moments. That's why they offer a selection of fine jewelry that goes beyond the ordinary, just like our hogs. Visit Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers, where you'll find that perfect piece to celebrate your Razorback spirit and the special moments in your life.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
Yeah, does Chuck sleep that much? Because it just sometimes...
He's old, so when you get old, you don't really sleep as much.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Ty Richardson, we're live here at First Financial Mortgage. I'm here with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I know I probably texted you 100 times during this process, man. I didn't know what I was doing. Luckily, you did.
Yeah, Ty. It was always great working with you. Glad we could help you get closed. A good loan officer is someone who can answer questions after hours, before hours, and be available when you're needed. We get pre-qualifications in, get buyers pre-qualified so they can search for homes and get them closed quick. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we are looking at sunny skies, a cold one, low 20s north, low 30s south. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight, overnight lows into the middle teens. Wednesday, sunny skies, upper 30s to near 40, and then it will be dry again Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 1/13 through 1/24. Cannot be combined with additional discounts while supplies last. See store or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Do you get to that special, like that nirvana state? You know, I hear people that do yoga, they talk about they have this like awakening.
Very quickly for me.
No, I'm sincere in my question. We're all looking for that. I like to talk to people who found it and discover how they've done it. You know, your runners talk about the runner's high. I've obviously never gotten there. Is there a yoga high? I guess is what I'm asking.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Bart has just informed us that the national championship football game at some point is going to be played in Vegas. What are we, 2-3 years away from that? 4?
2 years. January
2 years
18th,
away.
2027. Next year it's in Miami, and then it goes to Vegas, and then New Orleans, and then Tampa, and then back to Miami.
You going to Vegas? You going to go?
Chances are, we'll call it above 50%.
Really? You plan to be there is what you're trying to say.
Well, it's my birthday in Vegas with the college football national championship game. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, it does
it's
sound like
gambler's paradise.
It sounds like a weekend or a week to remember. A weekend. I mean, forget that.
Guys, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be here that week.
It'll be a 4 or 5 day extravaganza. You're either going to be a wealthy man or just, dead broke.
Yeah.
Wound up dead.
Yeah, or maybe dead when it's all said and done. All right, Cal had his radio show last night, and he talked about Boogie Fland after the game Saturday in Missouri. He said Boogie's hurt. We're going to have to take a look at that. Apparently Boogie's going to be out for a little bit, at least for tomorrow night's game and maybe for Oklahoma, and we're just going to have to see. This was Cal on his radio show last night. We're just going to kind of run him here.
Boogie being out, if that's the case, we're a different team. Now, does that make us better or worse? We're going to see, but we know this. We're going to be a different team, and that's if he's out. Right now, I would say that's he's doubtful at best.
Now, so, I realize the initial reaction from a lot of people is going to be, man, we're doomed. I mean, going from bad to worse. Who knows? I mean, I'm not going to sit here for a moment and suggest to you that you're better off without Boogie Fland. I mean, you'd have to be moronic to do that. It does change the team, and Cal talked about that too.
Boogie, if he doesn't play, my guess is he's doubtful at best. There's shots for more people. So now, who do we go to a little bit? How do we do this? And that's what we worked on yesterday. There's 15 shots to spread around. You all follow us closely. Who needs maybe 3-4 more shots of those 15 to get going? Yeah, you all said it. Nelly. He's used to taking 17, 18 shots. When you're taking 8, 9, 7, it's a lot harder. So we need to get him maybe some more shots.
Bart, you've been paying attention to the text line this morning.
I have, and I believe we have received, serious or unserious, the worst text in the history of the Chuck and Bo Show.
That's a lot of texts.
Yeah, a lot of texts coming in. We love them. Keep them coming. But this one, and it's from a nameless person, which means that they're
faceless,
nameless, faceless. So they're a real serious individual. But this is about John Calipari, and it says he's the Chad Morris of basketball.
No, hell no.
And let me tell you something. First of all, that's an incredible insult.
Is this one of the red jacket guys?
Yes. This is somebody who's been complaining about Cal's choice of wardrobe.
All right.
Chad Morris has never won anything of any significance in his career. With all due respect to him and his failure of a tenure at Arkansas, that was just an abject disaster. John Calipari has won a national championship. He has been to Final Fours. He has put dozens of players in the NBA, made so much money for so many guys and bettered their lives. And you're comparing him to Chad Morris, who is maybe the worst hire in the history of SEC football? Wow. Like, come on, man. Like, get serious. Like, touch some grass. I know it's cold, but get outside and touch some grass.
What does that mean? I hear all y'all saying touch. What does that mean?
It just means like ground yourself. Get a sense of reality.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Well, now when people say it, I don't know what they're talking about. I hear people say touch ground. What do you
like? Spend,
what are you talking about?
Spend more time outside, less time online.
Here's my deal on basketball right now. Don't be red jacket guy.
Right.
Don't be red blue jacket guy. When you're not when you've not won a conference game, there are plenty of things to talk about. I mean, when you're 0-5, there are issues. But don't be red jacket guy. This has become an ongoing theme that in order for somebody to prove to you that they are all in, they've got to dress like a fan at every game. They got to put on all their stuff.
Just throw on a jersey while you're at it.
And I watch a lot of college basketball, and I know a lot of you do too. There was a time in college basketball when every coach wore a jacket and tie. We kind of morphed from that into jacket, no tie. And from there, we morphed into man, these quarter zips we're wearing during the exhibition games are pretty comfortable. I think we'll keep wearing them during the regular season. And then you had guys like Muss, who were just not going to wear jackets. I remember the first road trip with Muss. I packed a jacket. They made fun of me the whole trip. And it was just they weren't wearing jackets. And so they wore school polos. And everything was coordinated. And I often wondered when Muss was here, they didn't they didn't wear those clothes a second time. I mean, they were like princesses. I mean, they wore their outfits once. That's about it. They didn't. It wasn't like they
revelation.
Throwing those things in the washer. Well, I like the way that looks. Let's wear this again. But my point is that back when coaches wore suit or jackets and ties, at the very least, in some cases suits, they wore all different kinds of colors. I mean, you'd have a team whose colors were green and gold, and he'd be wearing brown. You'd have all kinds of combinations over there. And nobody ever said anything about it. It's only, and maybe the coaches have dug their own graves here. It's only when they went to the quarter zip, the wind top, the polo, which are always going to be in school colors. It's only when they went to that everybody started noticing when they put on a sports jacket that it wasn't the school color. Now, look, again, I just got to say all this stuff because it's comical what's going on right now with this. That is not why Arkansas is 0-5. And furthermore, let me say this, and this may go to the heart of the issue even more than wins and losses. Just because somebody's not wearing a red blazer doesn't mean he's not all in. That's where I think Arkansas fans are right. Is he all in? Well, there's all kinds of different ways for you to determine that. But the color of the sports jacket, I get it. Be nice if he ran out there, and did all that. But is that really the most important thing? Edward, play that cut from last night. I want to say something on the backside of this too.
I'm loving it here. Now, the losing is kind of hard, but I'm not changing my feel for what this is and what job I got to do here.
Again, it's sometimes someone has to do something super demonstrative before you feel like they're all in as much as I am. And that's just not always the case. I think a lot of the things that we're focusing on with Cal right now are, one, a product of the Kentucky narrative. The fact that, as he said last night too, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that just are beside themselves with joy over the fact that he's struggling, not Arkansas, him. And there's a byproduct of that. I think some of that's bled down to our people. But that's the part I just don't get. And just for the record, if you'll come to Sassy's for the Cal show, you'll see him call the Hogs. I've had people, I've never seen him call the Hogs. Call the Hogs before as the show begins. He had his arms up last night. He was calling the Hogs. He does it every time. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Now, the losing is kind of hard.
Yeah, and that kind of trumps everything. Go ahead, Mark.
I'm laughing because I just did a quick Google search and I found this photo of Mike Anderson from his time coaching at Arkansas, where he is wearing a very similar jacket to the one Cal was wearing the other night. Like I would call it that shade of blue, and nobody Well, I mean, I won't say nobody, but few coaches that have been at Arkansas in recent times were more all in on Arkansas than Mike Anderson. Like, that guy is a Razorback, and he was wearing a blue jacket. Who cares? Who cares?
I understand people.
Win games.
No, I do understand a new coach. I understand fans wondering if a new coach is all in. I do understand that.
For sure.
And Muss, by virtue of the fact he wore the school colors, ran over to the student section, took his shirt off, did all that stuff, we came away with the impression that he was all in. But guess what? He left. He left you. He left you. He told you weren't good enough. That's what happened. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. He left. So just because someone wears your colors, runs over to you, tells you you're the greatest that ever lived,
I'm loving it here.
Doesn't mean they're not leaving. 877-377-6963. Robert's in Fayetteville. Roberts, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, guys. So I got a story for you. Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
John Pelfrey was our coach, and people used to yell at him for not wearing the red jacket. Do you remember this?
I do. I remember what happened, too.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm going to tell if you don't mind, I'll tell the story real quick.
Tell it.
And there's a thing at the end I want to get to as well. But anyway, he wore a red jacket once, and guess what? We won, and it was a big freaking deal. And so I ran down to Terry Mercer, which was the assistant to John, and got the information about what his tie looked like. And then I did a T-shirt, a long-sleeve T-shirt that was made to look like the jacket he had on with the same tie. And on the back it said it must have been the jacket. So I gave one to Coach
last
Bell.
night. Or that time, didn't it? Didn't they beat Texas?
Think you're right.
Because they played Texas and Oklahoma, I think, in Bud Walton. Beat them both. Everybody thought they were going to be great, and then they weren't.
Yeah. And he wore the red jacket for a change, and they won, and everybody made a big deal, so I had the T-shirt made.
Yeah, I remember.
So at Coach Broyles' memorial at Bud Walton Arena, when he passed, I'm in the back room with all the staff from the athletic department. And all of a sudden, somebody grabs me by the arm and says, "Hey!" And I turn around, and it's John Pelfrey. Now, understand, John didn't have to come to Frank's memorial service, but he did anyway. And he said, "I just want you to know I still have that T-shirt."
That's great. That's great.
He kept the T-shirt after all those years. But, yeah, I just had to tell that. Y'all talking about jackets, and that's the first thing that popped in my head.
That's a good story. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate your call. And I remember that game. I mean, Pell came out. It was the brightest red jacket you've ever seen in your life. And that's another thing. I mean, go buy a red sports jacket somewhere. I mean, some of them are like tomato can red. Some of them are, burgundy. What we used to call wine, back in the day. It's very seldom that you actually find a red, school colors red kind of sports jacket.
It was that Texas game, by the way.
I
just pulled up footage. That is the brightest, reddest jacket I have ever seen in my life.
No one would have been caught dead in that thing. If you'd walked out, your wife would have sent you back to change. And but now, my God, it's the most important thing in the world. All right, 877-377-6963. Back with more in a moment. It is 8:18. It is 5 degrees in Fayetteville. This is the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning. Bo, it's good to hear you back on the radio, man. I missed you in the afternoons, and you guys seem to be gelling right along. So it's good to hear both of you
thanks,
on
man.
the morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heated air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Storey talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye. So I spent yesterday. You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. How do people see what you've made over the years, Cecil?
Google or Yahoo it or Bing it. Jazzco Graphics Design, JAAZCO, Monday through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And sometimes I'm here after. So if that open sign is on, I'm here. Y'all come on in. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at First Financial Mortgage with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan was my mortgage lender here. And Ethan, between you and Emily, over 2 decades.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of experience here to help you get closed on a home really quick. We offer custom financing available through VA, FHA, RD, and conventional loans. First Financial Mortgage has a great history of lending in the area. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Do you enjoy lunch with me?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not any better than anybody else's lunch or anything like that, but I mean, it's all right.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's Hakeem Olajuwon's birthday today. 62 years old.
Legend.
He and I are, we'll just say, contemporaries when it comes to age. I was thinking when I saw that this morning, I was in Barnhill Arena, Section C, row 32, when Arkansas broke Houston's 39-game Southwest Conference winning streak. Olajuwon was on that team. Joe Klein and company beat him. It was a Sunday game. Here's what I remember. I was young. I was of college age. And so naturally, it was a big weekend. It's a Sunday game, high noon. So Saturday night, we're all out on the town. There's a place right down the street from here. It was known as Norma Jeans back then. I think it's like a furniture store now. I don't know. But Houston had a player named Benny Anders. Now, those of you who are old enough to remember Benny Anders, you know who I'm talking about. He was Dennis Rodman before there was Dennis Rodman. If there'd been Dennis Rodman back then, we would have called Benny Anders a Dennis Rodman wannabe. In every arena that he went into, he was a hot dog. He'd antagonize the opposing crowd, and the opposing crowd would get all over him. Happened here a lot. So, we're at Norma Jeans. It's closing time. It's closing time. And Benny Anders is in the club. I mean, he's broken curfew. He's in the club. He's talking trash. There are already people inside the place that have, gotten into verbal spats with Benny. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a noon tip. So we go home, and college kids, we were lucky. We might have been up at the crack of 10. I don't know. And found our way to Barnhill just in time for the noon tip. We walk in at like 10 till 12. Benny's out there running the floor. I mean, he's doing sprints, getting himself ready to play. He comes in the ball. I don't know how many points he scored. I'm sure he wasn't bad. He's a good player.
When was this game, Chuck?
Oh, it would have been about 1985, 84, 83, somewhere in that area, right in there. 84, right before Joe. I think he was on the Olympic team in the aftermath of that. But Houston had won 39 straight Southwest Conference games.
I've got it right here.
All right, what is it?
Hang on. Arkansas won 73-68 over number 2 Houston.
Phi Slamma Jamma, baby.
Yeah. Benny Anders had 0 points.
Okay, he had 0 points. Well, that's the reason right there. He was out all night. That is a true story, though. I got people that'll back that up. It's like 10 hours from tip, and Benny's in the club. But I'll give him credit. I mean, when we got to the arena, we barely made it. I mean, Benny's out there in full uni, running sprints, getting ready for the game, the whole deal.
Olajuwon had 10 points and 6 rebounds.
That's a great day.
Joe Klein, 22 points. Charles Ballantyne, 16. Ricky Norton, 14. Alvin Robertson, 13.
Smoking Joe from Slater Mo. Mike's in Russellville.
Jimmy Dykes played a minute in that game.
Oh, did he really? That's awesome.
How about that?
Mike, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, guys. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Mike.
Lot that we could talk about Razorback sports, but I'm going to pass except for this basketball Calipari thing. If people will remember when we hired him, which was a stellar thing, I mean, it came out of left field, but when he came and walked in that building, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was one player on that roster left. And my opinion at the time, and still is, he wasn't building a team. He was trying to build a roster. He didn't have players. And I think he was just trying to get the best he could, whether they fit or not, age, classification. You know what I'm saying. And I give the man a pass. Watching him, seeing him, he's a different man than what I thought of him at Massachusetts, Memphis, in Kentucky. And I've got his back. And I think this year is a pass. I think he's working on building a team now. I think he'll fine-tune it after this season with plugging in, losing, getting. And I think you're going to see a different thing next year. For those of us thinking that he was going to come in, win a national championship or Final Four with a roster that he just put together, I think that's unrealistic. And I'm going to hang up and see what you think.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I think all your points are well made. Here's part of our issue. We're expecting basketball to make up for our disappointment in football, and we're going to expect baseball to make up for our disappointment in football and basketball, and that's not fair. anyone who expects a first-year coach, I don't care who it is, and I know people are going to say Mark Pope, and I give Mark Pope full credit for everything he's done at Kentucky, but that Kentucky brand was built up by a lot of people before Mark Pope. I'm not taking anything away from him, but it's a different deal. I think anybody that thought Cal or anybody else was going to come in here in the first year and, send this thing to the Final Four and make up for all the disappointment we felt coming out of football season, that it's hopeful. There's nothing wrong with being hopeful, but that's not realistic. That's not realistic. Here's my view on it right now, and it's magnified with the fact that Boogie's going to be out for a little bit. Let's get through this year. Let's get through this year. Let's scratch and claw and get through this year. And now, look, if we're in this same spot next year, that's a whole different deal. But I don't think we will be. 877-377-6963. Seth Greenberg, ESPN, when we return on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Can we just say, for all of you who get up early in the morning and you work so hard, man, we're glad you're here. We just really appreciate all the work you do to make Arkansas better.
You talking to me?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Being a Razorback fan isn't just about the game. It's about the community, the tradition, and the moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks, they understand the importance of those moments. That's why they offer a selection of fine jewelry that goes beyond the ordinary, just like our hogs. Visit Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers, where you'll find that perfect piece to celebrate your Razorback spirit and the special moments in your life.
I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I tell you what, I know this got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy's the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools.
Pretty exciting. First time that we've done a podcast, and we're going to try to promote Fort Smith Public Schools, what we do with our basketball at all 6 schools, the 4 middle schools and both high schools. And then, of course, we've got several big-time tournaments coming up, one that starts today. And so this is going to be exciting.
Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports. New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com.
Cadence victory, it's on the way.
Yes! Yes!
Hey, Todd Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Rachel's at Papa's right now. Rachel, what do you think?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You can check out their menu at papaspub.com. Cricket, how about you?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Come on by and see us at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Can I just tell you, I love getting to know you.
Yeah, whatever.
It's been such a good year getting to know you.
Yeah, well,
I'm really looking forward to 25.
Imagine how much fun it's been for me.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Just got a text from Bo. Apparently he's missed his flight connection in the Atlanta airport. I'm glad I'm not there this morning. You got all these football people trying to get out of town, snowing. I mean, not a good day to be in the world's busiest airport. Glad we're here. We are fortunate in the final half hour of the show today to be joined by the great Seth Greenberg, ESPN basketball analyst, former college coach. Coach, I hope you're doing well this morning wherever you are.
Doing great. We had our snow about a day ago, about 6-7 inches, but it looks pretty nice outside in terms of, fresh snow looks really pretty.
It does.
As long as you're inside.
That's exactly right.
I mean,
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so it's all good, and great football game yesterday. It was fun to watch, and now the real sport begins.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, it gets the center stage now. What do you think when you watch the Razorbacks play, Coach? Let's just start right there.
They don't play well. I mean, look, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. Their roster is not as good as it needs to be. Some of it has to do with, Jonas Aidoo comes into town. He's injured, missed the whole preseason. Basically didn't start practicing until they were into the season. Aidoo, Theo hurt his back. He missed time. Nelly had his wrist problem. I mean, those are just things that happen. You got to just deal with, but it surely slowed the progress. And I think that probably John made a mistake only having 9 guys on scholarship. 9 guys on scholarship, you get an injury or two, and I understand exactly why he did it. It makes common sense why he did it in the world of the portal and trying to develop a team chemistry. You want guys that are all part of the solution and feel like they're involved. But I just think that guys are playing so much all year round, and I think guys get beat up a little bit. They don't have enough physicality in their front court because of that, and they don't shoot it all that well. They're relying on sophomores and freshmen again, excluding a dude Firo. Now look, I've known John Calipari for 40-something years. Now, I don't know when he's going to figure it out, but he'll figure it out. And all the bitching and moaning and complaining and all the poison that goes on within, a fan base, whether it's your fan base or another fan base where you came from, it'll be solved and they'll end up really, really good. It's just the way it is. This season did not work out the way he wanted it to, and, part of it, is his fault, and part of it is just some bad luck.
He told us last night on his radio show, looks like they're going to have to go a game or two without Boogie Fland. He's got an injured hand. You've coached when you lose a player like that, at least for a little while, and you've got someone like John L. Davis, who perhaps has not performed the way a lot of people thought he would, do you get into a situation where maybe a player like John L. Davis, given that it's going to be his situation to carry now, do you get a little bit more out of a player sometimes when they find themselves in that spot?
Look, you hope you do. I mean, John L. Davis, I think the big problem with John L. Davis, and the kid's a great kid. He's an amazing kid. He really is. I got a chance to know him when I came up and worked Cal's fantasy camp. Is for that league, he's a little bit of an undersized small forward. And that impacts him defensively, rebounding the basketball. And he doesn't have what I call shape to his game, where he can just get his own. You know, like Boogie can go get his own. He's aptly named. He's got a little boogie to his game. He's a good passer. He has good vision. Darnell's got to try to be more aggressive, but it's hard to be more aggressive when you're playing against the athletes. There's a big difference in the athletes in the American Conference, and especially this year in the SEC. But is he capable? Is he capable of getting on a heater? Is he capable of saying, like, here's the deal. You got to go play, man. You just got to go play. And so make shots. If they're good shots, take them. Be freed up. But it's really, really hard. It's really hard because he was recruited to come in and do big things. And like I said, he's a great kid. And everyone wanted him, and everyone wanted Jonas Aidoo. But Jonas Aidoo coming in banged up and needing surgery, and Nelly with the wrist, and then look, you don't always hit for home runs. I remember a long time ago I asked Cal, you ever think a year you'd swing and miss? And you know him, he doesn't. But if the Arkansas fans are patient, the reward will be incredible. It's the way it is. And John, who puts more pressure on himself than anyone, like this whole narrative, I get a kick out of the narrative. The game has passed him by and all that crap. That's other college coaches recruiting against the dude, and taking a swing at him because it impacts messaging impacts recruiting. Track record is what it's all about, and he will figure it out. This team will get better, but in a big picture, I just remember what they said about Ryan Day a short while ago. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, people can take their swings. When you're down, people are going to take swings, and that's fine. And that's all part of it. And it's, it goes with the job. And you just got to, what you got to do is, like you tell the players, A, number one, get to the next play, and B, block out the static. Because if you spend time with the static, then you lose focus on what you're trying to accomplish. And, look, if I'm not an Arkansas fan, I'm disappointed. But they need to understand that there's no magic dust. Maybe they made a couple of swings and misses on some guys, but you look at the track record, and the track record says you're in pretty good shape. And the whole stuff about, archaic and all the the BS, that people put out, that's just propaganda. Like, if you want to buy into the propaganda, buy into the propaganda. If you want to just look at the track record, look at the track record. If you want to just understand that, this might be a rough one, but, the big picture is they're going to be fine.
When you talk about, and we've heard it too, people have said games passed him by. I've still not figured out exactly what that means.
They averaged 89 points a game last year, number one in the SEC in offensive efficiency. So I'll tell you one thing. I have family members that have, some dementia and things of that nature. I don't think that happened over the freaking summer. I think that, maybe some decisions they made in terms of personnel, maybe some decisions they made in terms of size of the roster and things of that nature. But that other stuff is, a joke.
It seems like, from a national perspective, guys have got 20 or 30 years of resentment built up about this guy, and they're just going to let it all free flow right now. I mean, he's getting piled on from everywhere.
Yeah, it is. It goes with it. John's at times a polarizing figure, but he's the same polarizing figure that if you have a tragedy in your state, he's going to be the first one to have a telethon, or he's the first one that's going to try to go in and help to try to find a solution. So you get what you get. He's a lightning rod. He's a huge personality. His press conferences can be at times a little bit over the top. But the one thing he does do, he has tremendous pride and care for where he's working and what he's doing and his players. And you see that from the former players, obviously. And, this could be one of those years that, they maybe made some mistakes. But you continue to give him resources and let him do what he does. And most times than not, for a guy that lost his fastball, I mean, not mistaken, they won at Alabama last year. They won at Auburn. They beat Tennessee. He knows what he's doing. I've coached against him. He knows what he's doing. And you're not in the Hall of Fame, and you don't win at Memphis, and you don't win at UMass by not knowing what you're doing. You don't win national championships and go to Final Fours without knowing what you're doing. This is an anomaly, and this is obviously out of character for one of his teams. I'd say in his coaching career, probably the COVID year and one other season were similar type situations, but being he's done this for about 35 years, I'd say the odds are in Arkansas's favor.
I want to leave you with this. You've watched the SEC evolve during your time at ESPN. Did you imagine that it could be as strong as it is now?
Yeah, I did, because they're good in everything. They're good in baseball, tennis, swimming, golf, women's basketball, football, softball. Number one. Number two is Mike's Live. His vision for the league has become a reality. Build your facilities, develop infrastructure, hire great coaches, give them resources. I always say your investment equals your expectation. And what's happened with this in college basketball today is that the SEC has made those investments. So, some other conferences, quite honestly, like the ACC, have not made those investments. And but the SEC is basically reaping the reward of a great vision by Mike Slive a good number of years ago, tremendous support by Commissioner Sankey, and the commitment from the presidents and the athletic directors to be forward thinking and invest in basketball, and the return has been incredible on the investment.
Seth Greenberg, thank you. Really a pleasure to have you. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. Seth Greenberg, ESPN. And I've said this before privately. I know that Jay Billis gets all the attention, and I understand that. Smartest guy in the room. But for my money, Seth Greenberg, I mean, that's an old school basketball coach. He's been in gyms from the heart of the urban area all the way to rural America, the most rural outpost. He's been there chasing players. And that's basically what all of them are doing. They're out there chasing players. But I'm glad we had a chance to visit with him today. All right, we'll continue in just a moment. 877-377-6963. This is the Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck, I believe this is all your fault.
Yeah,
I believe
thank you.
so.
All right, thank you. And it's because he doesn't have YouTube TV, for starters.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Our New Year's sale is on at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Get total New Year's savings up to $13,000 on select in-stock new 2024 Silverados. That's up to $13,000 in total savings on a new Silverado. Limited time only during our New Year's sale at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Chevrolet, together let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 3/3/25.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
There's nothing we enjoy saying more than I told you so.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at ServiceMasterPC.com.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Great point, Bo.
Thank you.
I'm Chuck. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. I'm going to start taking credit. Like when you make a great point, I'm going to call myself
All
Chuck.
right, fair enough.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Man, I bet Bo's irritated right now. Sitting in the Atlanta airport, missed his flight connection because he couldn't get through the TSA line. There's nothing worse.
With
absolutely nothing worse.
I've been seeing photos of, on social media from various college football reporters complaining about the conditions at the airport this morning. We'll just say, which is something it's a shared experience. We've all been there, and they said the line. Like I'm seeing photos of the line for pre-check, TSA pre-check, has stretched outside the airport.
Well, they pass out pre-check now. The pre-check line's as long as the regular line. I mean, anybody can get it. And if you got $80 or $90, you can be pre-checked. That's the bottom line.
Do you have pre-check, Chuck?
I do, yes.
I do as well. It's great when you're flying out of exit.
Look, I've navigated through the Atlanta airport many, 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 many times over the course of my life. And it's a great layover airport. It's a terrible airport if you have to check in. If you have to, like, go in off the streets from Atlanta
Bad
into the
departure
airport, bad. Layover airport, good. But Bo's dealing with it right now. And here's
We'll
the
be
problem.
lucky if he's here tomorrow.
I mean, I've been through the Atlanta airport like on Master Sunday. It's brutal, but you don't have to deal with weather.
Yeah.
Today it's brutal, and it's going to snow. Just to kind of give you an idea about what's going on in the South. Destin is supposed to have 4 inches of snow by tomorrow morning. Destin. It's going to snow on the beach. I don't mean just flurry. I mean accumulating snow on the beach. Down in the Gulf of America. And, so that's what's going to happen over the course of the next couple of days. And you throw all that in and compound it with, the hustle
snowing,
and bustle of the Atlanta airport. It's just going to happen.
It is currently snowing in New Orleans, Gulfport, and Mobile.
Unbelievable. Do you know what's going on down there? These people, we talk about, we don't invest much in snow. We've got salt and stuff at pretty much every intersection, in terms of the main roads. They don't have a grain. I mean, they got grains of sand. I don't know if you can take the beach sand and shovel it out onto the road or not. Empty all those sandbags they keep down there. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
By 2 p.m.
mass hysteria.
By 2 p.m., it's going to be snowing in Panama City.
That is unbelievable. All right, we are done for the day. But we will reconvene, do it again tomorrow. If Bo ever makes it back, he'll be in the chair to my left. Hope you'll make plans to be with us then. Thanks for listening this morning on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery,